Ready? You rolling? Hey everyone, welcome back to another Drive to 5 video. We're at another Electric Era charging site. We're with the founder of Electric Era, Quincy Lee. And Quincy's gonna give us a tour of the site and some of the goodness and tech that powers their charging stations. Join us. Should I plug in now? Should I plug in now, or should we do it live on camera?
Well, so maybe
see how fast.
Maybe we start with the origin story.
Okay.
Like we met on Twitter, what, 7 months ago?
Something like
that.
that.
Yeah,
right?
And you are out in the wild documenting EV fast charging experiences, and I obviously saw a new game in town.
Yeah.
So we connected, as one does on Twitter.
Yes.
That's what Twitter's great for, or X.
I know.
Sorry.
I still call it Twitter.
Yeah, it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be 30 years before people actually don't call it Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
We're gonna all
the brand is strong. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad we connected. And I guess we're here at one of our charging stations. We're at an Electric Era charging station. So this is for a company called Space Age Charging. Or sorry, it's for a fueling retailer called Space Age. Actually, you can see it back there. They have a huge giant fuel canopy. This is like a pretty reputable brand, maybe 50 stations throughout the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of like a mainstay staple if you're from Seattle or Portland. And of course, these people are modernizing and trying to figure out EV fast charging.
Yeah.
So we sold them a product. We're a solutions provider, and we're gonna give Doug. Do you go by Doug or Douglas?
Either one. Dougie Fresh, Dizzo,
Oh, I'm calling him Dizzo.
All the things,
I'm calling him Dizzo.
Right? But yeah,
Okay.
super excited to see the tech powering this Electric Era charging station. Yeah, couldn't be more fitting. Space Age with the retailer here. So.
And of course, we were just talking about it, maybe hopefully before we got on camera, but the cars sound Space Age-y.
Yeah, EV sound, super fun.
Do you know why that is the case? Actually, I'm curious.
Pedestrian warning noise, right? Federally mandated.
Oh, wow.
Right? So
that's like the humming sound is all just, it's acoustically generated?
Yeah, so GM, right, has some fun with it. Everybody can have fun with it.
Yeah.
But like our 2018 Model 3, super stealth, no pedestrian warning sound. But Toyota, Lexus Group, they've been doing it for so long with the Prius. They were ahead of the regulation, but now it's in effect. Now everybody has to do it. So Space Age sounds coming from the Blazer EV.
Yeah, and you like this car quite a bit from what we were talking about off camera earlier.
Yeah, yeah. Price is right, proper electric SUV, super comfy, super quiet on the road. And then another reason we love it is we get to explore new fast charging options and entrants in the world like Electric Era, coming out with novel solutions because reliability has been a sore point for the CCS community. Tesla has it pretty good, right, with historically bulletproof charging infrastructure. So what are you in Electric Era doing about reliability and making sure you hit the mark on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, like, first off, we make it a top priority. So like, as I like to tell our entire company, reliability is our whole business. Like, if we're not delivering exceptional charging sessions to drivers, then our customers are not going to care. Right. And if the driver can't have a great experience charging their EV, they're probably not going to buy an EV. Yeah. And or they're going to buy it and they're going to return it quickly. So like the whole industry is built on reliability. So we define at a high level reliability in 2 ways. Okay. And I think this is actually important because I think everybody else is getting it wrong. Reliability, you have to have uptime. The asset's online. It has to be working. It has to be powered on. It has to be functional. Right. That's just the first step. The second step is session reliability. When you plug in, how quickly does it work? Does it work immediately? We call that first shot session reliability.
Versus multiple
like,
attempts.
oh, I'm like trying to get my phone. And like the
charger's
app
online, but I had to go to 3
Yeah.
different chargers. We were just at a FreeWire charging installation, 4 ports going up to Seattle, and encountered just that.
Yeah, well, I Spare your breath. I know exactly. Yeah, and FreeWire obviously has kind of gone under recently, but I think you know what we aim for, and I think have a roadmap to about 97% session reliability, first shot session reliability by the end of the year. But we're aiming for eventually 99.9%. Like, if we can do that, and you just literally show up and it works every single time, boom, problem solved. So let's give it a go.
Okay.
We'll start the sessions. Maybe we can talk about some of the tech along the way.
So no app needed.
No app needed.
And we're using a different credit card payment terminal than the rest of the industry, so it seems.
Yes, that's correct.
It's not what you see on Electrify America unit or others out there. So is this one more reliable in the field, you found?
Yeah, so we actually looked at the NIAX terminal, and that's
the name.
That's what everybody uses. It's kind of the industry standard. They're actually quite common in other industries, and that's how they got pulled into this. But
interesting.
Basically, we found that they were terrible.
Yeah.
No knocking XR, I shouldn't be mean, but they were not effective enough for the the quality
we experience
that we
it, right? Road tripping. This thing, 3,000 miles, lots of EA because they're built out in numbers, so that's what we would go for. And all too many people are coming, tapping their credit card, not working. I tell them, hey, try the app. You can activate it that way, but they don't want to download an app a lot of the time.
Exactly. It's just a friction point.
Yeah. So reduce the friction.
So we ended up going with a company called ID Tech. So we actually swapped this in ourselves.
Okay.
And the reason we like ID Tech actually is because they allow us to do our own custom payments management software on top of it. So we kind of go in and adjudicate along the way everything that needs to come together to successfully transact quickly and easily, and even offline if we want to. So if the internet goes down, there's no sort of issues. We just like locally authenticate.
Yeah.
And we can do that because, again, we care about reliability, and we built a bunch of software to enable a seamless experience.
Sweet. That's what the people want. That's what they're calling for.
That's what they want. And so everything that you actually are seeing and experiencing today is software that's built and run by Electric Air. We build all of our own software in-house.
That's how goodness happens. Yeah. You know it.
So the screen, for example, this is like all screen control that's under our jurisdiction. Like, there's a bunch of really cool stuff that we're going to do with this in the future, but basically we can dynamically update it. We can change it. We know if you're coming back for the 5th time versus the 10th versus the 1st, and we can dynamically update what you see during that experience. All of that we can do because we own the software stack.
Gotcha.
And then the electrical backend, which we'll talk about in a second, like the energy management that makes EV fast charging more affordable and requiring less grid upgrades. That's all our own software as well.
Right.
So software.
Name of the game to creating delightful experiences.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in.
Okay.
We'll give it a go.
Got that CCS adapter.
These things. Look at this guy.
Beefy.
Well, so I loved your guys' video because.
Right, 2 hands. 2 hands.
Yeah. And so just gonna pay with tap. Fingers crossed.
Yep. And you can swipe to or tap the credit card.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Approved. Please wait.
Payment accession.
Boom. Click.
So this is actually kind of a crazy part is, like, if you go to a Tesla charging station, you will have immediate charging.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So because we don't yet own the hardware behind the scenes, like, we have to let the hardware provider go through their checkout process.
In this case, Signet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Gen 1 hardware for Electric Air, your first product in the market?
Yeah, we actually call it our V2 architecture, but we didn't really build any V1 architecture. So this is our first product. And I'm already at a bunch of I have already a bunch of juice in the bank. So it's going to be kind of slow here, but like, again, all of this, another thing that drivers, Brandon Flash, actually, shout out Brandon Flash, my boy. I met him back in probably 2021 maybe, but he had, and others, obviously, Kyle, what's his name, Kyle Connor?
Yep, you got it, out of spec.
Like, they're always like, oh, well, what's the insights? And like, it's not that flashy.
Yeah,
but
the
like,
nerd data that you care about, that is here, right?
The nerd data, the power levels, the total consumed energy.
Yeah, if you have an EV that's not giving you showing you what rate the car's charging at. There's some out there like that. It's insane. I think Kyle just was looking at new EX30 from Volvo, and the car doesn't say the rate of charge it's charging at anywhere. You got to rely on an app or the charger.
That's insane.
It's wild, but you got the nerd data.
We want the analytics. Give us the analytics, people. And I'll just go ahead and end the session so we can kind of see some other stuff.
Yeah.
And, we can charge your car if you like as well. But so please unplug to end your session.
Boom. Right, and I'm going to get going here with ours. So plug in first.
Yeah, you could go in either direction.
Okay.
So, there you go.
There we go.
So I'm going to give it a 5-star.
Beautiful.
I don't need my receipt, but boom, off to the races, done.
Okay. We're in here. A little Apple Pay.
Oh, so you can actually do Apple Pay on your watch?
Yes.
That's pretty slick.
And here we go. Okay, that's cool, right? So it doesn't matter the order in which you plug in. That was cool. Vehicle connected, payment.
And it's actually surprisingly hard to do stuff like that. Like, basically,
the order of operations.
Yeah, it's like you have to build resilient and like fault tolerant software because people will use it in very, very, very surprising ways.
The user will surprise you. It's the meme of the memes out there of we built it like this and the user used it like this.
Exactly.
Boom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Blazer gave us a nice chirp to say, hey, we're starting.
Like, weirdly.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Well, what do we do?
Let's check it out. So charger ID 155126, the charging session has failed early. Please check your vehicle onboard screen. Return home. Let's give it another try.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well.
And it may be because I did something, I paid with Apple Cash because I don't have Apple Card on here yet. So that may have been, but let's try it again. Boom.
You don't have enough in here.
Oh. Okay. Boom. Boom.
And all, you know, I mean, it also may have been our software, right?
Yeah.
We're chasing 9s, we're getting it better and better and better.
All the edge cases,
yeah,
right?
these are things that we're trying to catch.
Right, new vehicles out here like Blazer EV coming to the market, so we're gonna try it again. Boom.
I think like one of the best parts of our approach and our team is we're just intentional about improving.
Yeah.
You know, so if this ends up not working again, that's fine because we're gonna go to look at the telemetry immediately.
More time to initiate payment.
Here, I
was gonna say, give me your phone, Katie.
give it a go on mine.
Boom.
So we'll go look at the data, we'll go look at the telemetry, we'll understand exactly what happened, if and why it failed, and if it was our software, we'll fix it.
Right.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, the car will be like the culprit.
Interop, right?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
And you're like, oh no, bummer. But, you know, and
Yeah, you know, talk about reliability, making sure people's experiences are good the first time rather than having to unplug a second time. We were taking my parents' Ford Mustang Mach-E on a road trip, and an EA station fried the battery pack.
oh no.
And they've actually since went back into gas products. They didn't experience it themselves, but I experienced it, and they're like, heck no, I don't want that.
Interesting.
So stuff like that.
That's exactly what we need to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great Steve Jobs quote that basically says like software people that are really serious about their software should make their own hardware.
Yeah. Okay.
And as we like dug in further and further to making products good, we've realized, hey, there's a lot of software. There's a lot of hardware like, oh, you can't get past it. You can't get past it.
Yeah.
So we're starting to think about making our own hardware. I mean, there's nothing official yet, but it's just we're
the more you own,
exactly,
right, the better.
The more you own, and maybe on that note, we can go look at some other hardware over here.
Yeah, the stuff powering it, PowerNode, right?
Yep.
The key part of every electric era charging install.
The battery.
Yes.
Yep.
So and every site has this.
Maybe actually the best part about every electric area install is the amazing amenities on
yes.
site. So we got a Dairy Queen. If you like DQ, hot eats, cool treats, and you love premium fast charging. I actually just stayed at Blizzard and it was so good. Yeah. It's like, it's so nostalgic to have one. But
I need peanut butter, chocolate, banana, Blizzard. On order, coming up. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
We'll treat ourselves.
Banana. You know this. You know this. All right, the battery. PowerNode.
PowerNode, yeah.
Okay.
So what are we looking at? This is basically an energy storage system. It's a 233 kilowatt hour battery, which is about enough energy to power 233 homes for about an hour.
Beefy.
So it's a little bit of a beefy guy. And it's got a 125 kW inverter, so it can supplement the grid with 125 kW of power for 233 kWh of energy.
Okay.
And basically, when we started our company, the main premise, the value prop, rather, before we kind of knew about the reliability problems, was let's solve the grid problem. Everybody kind of knows about the grid problem.
Less power needed from the grid.
Bingo.
Okay.
So the energy storage system, the thing on the right-hand side, that's purchased from another company, and then we integrate it all into a complete battery pack.
Okay, gotcha.
And so we do all of this. We would call it like integration and test work, but we do like build and add all that and wire up. You can kind of see it through here, but all this like electrical equipment down here. There's a bunch of like high voltage high voltage safety PCBAs and. Very importantly, our edge compute system.
Okay, yes.
Which is the computer.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the edge compute system is like the brain. It's the computer on site that runs the software at a very low latency.
Okay.
So we do real-time control on site, both of the energy management of the site, but also the software operations.
Okay,
right?
gotcha.
So this is kind of was our first big thing that we started to sell, and then we realized, hey man, there's a huge open need in the market for software. So we built the whole software software that powers the whole charging experience after we built this, and now we do both.
All right.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Man, so is this here too helping manage if multiple vehicles plug in at once, the strategy for sharing power between two vehicles, because two can actually plug in at once.
Right.
And how's that power sharing strategy work?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like, pretty simply, it's like, let's say this connection to the grid is only 50 kW.
Okay.
Like you can't get more from the transformer, or let's say you have a really high demand charge and you want to keep it at 50.
Right.
The battery will supplement whatever the deficiency is between what the two cars are requesting at the same time,
okay,
and what the grid can provide.
Gotcha.
So it's, like you said in a recent video, it's battery plus grid equals charging power
Yeah.
output. And then the software is just the kind of the brains of the operation, making a real-time decision on exactly what to do. So if a car's finishing up and it's pulling a small amount of power, and then like a really low SOC car shows up and
Yeah.
it wants a bunch of power, it'll immediately detect that and then actually ramp this guy up.
Okay.
And go, ooh, okay, let's go, and it'll push a ton of power into the ports
Yeah.
to give the power to both the cars at the same time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does that all while not exceeding the grid limit, so it can keep the demand charges low, and very importantly, not it over exceed the transformer.
Yeah.
And because obviously you don't want to do that.
Right.
Things get sparky quickly.
We don't want that,
Yeah,
right?
well, actually, that would never happen because there's like a bunch of like safety circuitry in
Yeah.
here and all that. But that's like the second backup, and the
Right.
first thing that we use to not let that happen to the software.
And does Electric Era partner with the site hosts or the people that are purchasing this charging infrastructure to understand all this and help them through it?
Well, so
and
we have an amazing. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
We have a super good implementation team led by Lang Reynolds, who actually built out all of Circle K's charging.
Right. Okay.
So he's like the guy that I go to when I'm stumped on a problem. I'm like, Lang, you know so much about charging. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And fortunately, he works for us, and he has a team. He oversees the team at Electric Era that actually does all of what you just described. So the utility coordination, the site host coordination, the authority having jurisdiction, sign off, like basically the government, and then all of the kind of nuts and bolts of the power of everything behind us that you're seeing.
Lang and team.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah, that's a complex world.
It is. And actually, so this is pretty cool. I don't know what power level you're pulling at, but like we're only pulling at 25 kW. So I would guess your car
We're pulling more than that, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's the charger say over? I can't test my eyesight.
Yeah.
Should we go over there
over
and check it out?
yeah.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. So battery wasn't preconditioned on this. We just rolled up maybe.
Oh yeah. So
40,
you're pulling
50 state of charge.
72 kW.
Hey, that's cool.
That's cool. So basically, that's what the
battery.
That's
plus that grid.
Yeah.
25 kW.
It's basic arithmetic.
Yeah. Back to school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell me a little bit about the business model of Electric Era. So
Sure.
I know, thinking back to our first apartment together, Katie and I had a charge point unit that the apartment complex purchased, but then they didn't want to pay for the maintenance and repair when something went wrong, right? So is Electric Era selling all this hardware to retailers, C-stores, etc.? And are they, when something does go wrong, who's on the line to get it fixed? And who's making, okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So we have a network operations team that probably actually just watched this whole session in the cloud. Like they probably are on console right now, like, because they're like nervous, they don't want things to go bad. And they're doing that for basically all of our charging stations across the country 24/7. So we actually run a 24/7 networks operations team. It's basically the model that we carried over from SpaceX. And they are kind of supercharged, if you will, with the software systems that help give them scale and give them, the ability, a lot more leverage ultimately. So they have like an Ops Genie system and pagers that are tied to our software. So if they detect a fault, they'll get a call. And like if there's a fault in the field, they'll get a call and they'll be like, oh, okay, what's happening? And then they'll run over, get on, look at telemetry.
Yeah.
If it's like something they can quickly fix with software, they literally will fix it, patch it, ship and test the code, and then push it to the device.
Super cool.
So basically we are, and if there's like a hardware failure, same thing. So basically they'll coordinate with are maintenance providers. So
Okay.
we don't actually have a team of technicians. That
Okay.
wouldn't really make sense. But we work very closely with a firm who has hundreds of thousands across the country, and they're trained up on our hardware. So
Okay,
if
cool.
something goes down with the battery or the charger, they come out and they fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
like it.
we'll do that super quick.
Right.
Like our customers are
No,
like,
not months lag time in between, right?
Like, so we even actually have parts in inventory. Like we're like crazy about this stuff. Like we're like, oh, like cables might get cut.
Yeah, Seattle,
like-
big problem, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, boy. Connectors might fault. You know, the
Right.
power modules might fail. So what do we do? Like kind of like war game it.
Yeah,
and
you got
make
it
sure-
on hand, ready to send out wherever it is in the field.
Yep.
Because you're all over the country now, too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So as an example, at our Plaid Pantry charging station, which is also in Portland, the little computer failed actually, and we had to rush one down from Seattle, which is where our inventory
Yeah.
location is, and we got it up and operational within 8 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like we're bringing.
4 hours out of his drive.
Yeah.
We're-
People
yeah.
that care, right?
Yeah.
EV drivers themselves, operating, charging infrastructure. This is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Man, gosh, I'm trying to think. What else? What else should the people know?
What was the reasoning behind just having one charger here?
So this was that's a great question. We would definitely never recommend one charger again. We think multiple chargers, like at least two. And we actually looked into the data, the national
Okay.
data set, and we were like, oh yeah, one chargers you get like really hit like on usage,
Okay.
because drivers are like, oh well, it's only one charger, 2 stalls is probably going to be busy. But if you have 2 chargers, 4 stalls, much less likely to be busy or full.
Yeah.
So more drivers ultimately go. So you get much
Right.
like a non-linear
see.
effect of boosted usage.
Demand and yeah.
Yeah, but like this was like one of our very first customers, so we didn't kind of like know that yet, and we didn't coach them to do
Yeah.
4 or 2 rather. But I think all of our installs from here on out are either 2 chargers or 4 chargers
Okay.
or up.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
more the better. I
The
know
more the better.
we
7 feathers is what, 7?
8 times 2 or 16 6
Yeah.
times
6 chargers,
12. Yeah.
parking
That's what
spots.
people
It's
too.
significant. It was
The
great.
American
Yeah.
public has to discern too, because they've been taught, okay, electrify America, 2 cables, only 1 works,
Yeah.
right? One at
Yeah.
a time.
Yep,
So
yep. And that's not the case with us, by the
yeah.
The best.
way. So we got a wrap.
Yes.
I'm getting the wrap up over my fiance. So, but thank you so much for meeting.
Thank you,
This
Quincy.
was a blast.
It was great.
Yeah.
Glad we could make it work.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
See you later,
Catch
drivers.
you in another video. See ya. Okay, a cornerstone of electric era charging is having great amenities on site. And so we're at a space age gas station with a Dairy Queen inside. So let's get a Blizzard. Super cool gas station, space age. One thing you'll notice is how silent this whole operation is. Pretty cool. Okay, how's the Blizzard?
Honestly, phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I asked the guy working there if he's tried it and how it was, and he said, it's all right. That's not the confidence I was looking for, but it's delicious.
I was just thinking, why don't we know about this super cool Pacific Northwest fuel retailer, Space Agents? Because we haven't owned a gas vehicle in 6+ years. That's why.
Been a while.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay. Great amenities, Blizzard in hand. Blazer EV, 77 state of charge, delivered 25 kilowatt hours of energy. Still pulling strong. Just under 70 kilowatts at 77% state of charge. There's that flat charging curve of Blazer EV. I like that this one has the e-stop covered so that people won't be inclined to mess with it at all. Love that. And super cool. clean. Nice signage on the ground. City probably mandates that one of the charging spots be handicap accessible. Use last. Okay, right. Use this first, then pull in here. All right.
Also, you can use both at the same time. It's incredible.
Yeah, right. If you're gonna have, or just the fact that,
Two stalls.
right.
We talked about other charging infrastructure. And how
Electrify America.
you can only use one at a time.
Right.
This thing's taking up 2 stalls. You can use both of them at the same time. It's not going to throttle you.
Yeah, again, there's that lighting, edge lighting here. Blue means it's available. Green means it's in use. Wish this was more visible to an onlooker, because this lip right here comes over the edge lighting. So during the day, you can't so much see that. We'll have to check it out at night and see if the glow like comes outward and emanates from the unit. Okay, on the road. Not charging. All right, and that is our Chargerside chat with Quincy Lee, the founder of Electric Era. Big thanks to Quincy for suggesting that we meet up and nerd out together on all the tech and software goodness that goes into Electric Era charging stations and sites, and really what differentiates Electric Era from the DC fast charging competition. We need more people like Quincy, leading EV charging infrastructure companies that put themselves in the shoes of the driver, that obsess over the customer. This is how you build a good product. Really look forward to covering more of Electric Era's success in the market and their expansion in the US. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our Drive to 5 YouTube channel so we can continue to bring you more content like this. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.